Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining me in our yin practice. Uh, Good morning, good evening, whenever you are taking this. I just hope that the time leading up to it has been really good and that you come to the mat with some peace in your heart and just an acknowledgement that this time is so incredibly precious. If you are new to yin, or just as a reminder, we are in our yin poses for several minutes at a time. And so just a gentle reminder to please take your time as you settle into the pose. There's plenty of time to deepen it if your body invites that. Never feel obligated to go deeper. If you feel great where you're at, that's wonderful. If you feel some discomfort, try to just breathe through it, but recognize the difference between discomfort and pain. Real quick, some props in yin. We like all of the props. I have 2 blankets, 2 yoga blocks, which I'll set that up in a moment. If you don't have yoga blocks, maybe some thicker books that you could stack would work really well. I also have a bolster, like meditation pillow, just in case I need a little extra support. So why don't you go ahead in a moment here, pause the video, get the props that they're there, grab a drink of water, maybe use the restroom, and then come on back. And then real quick, even before you do that, if you're listening to music, whether the playlist I sent or another, your own music, try to have 2 separate devices if that's possible. One with me and my voice, and then the second for the music. And then maybe put them a little bit opposite each other, or at least not right next to each other. That way I'm not creating the distraction by sort of fighting with the music. All right, yeah, so go grab whatever you need, maybe light a candle, put some oils in a diffuser, grab your tea or wine or whatever you need in your yin practice, then come on back. All right, so I have this set up. We're going to start today in a supported reclined butterfly pose. And so I have my 2 blocks. The one that is going to support my back, my upper back, is on the lowest level. And then just about a block's distance apart, not quite, I have my second block on the medium level, and that will support my head. And then we're just going to take the blanket or a bolster if you want to use that. It'll prop you up a little bit more, and start to come down onto this so that this lower block, the bottom of that lower block will be right about bra strap area. And then the back of your head will rest on this upper block, adjust as you need to here. And then just let your shoulders hang. Arms are spread. Fingers are open. Draw the soles of the feet together. Knees are open. You can always place extra support under the knees if you'd like. And then just try to make sure that your toes are closer to the bottom of the mat than they are to your pelvis. I'm just gently opening. Close the eyes down here. Part your lips. Take a nice big inhale through your nose. Exhale, let that breath go. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. One more cleansing breath here. Nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Now just take your inhales and exhales through the nose, nice and slow. Not feeling the need to rush through it. Letting each round of breath create a little bit more space for the next. By really carrying that breath up slowly, starting in that low belly, drawing it up through the ribs, filling the chest. Exhale, slowly release as those shoulders feel a little heavier. As you get comfortable with that conscious breath, maybe seeing if you can find a little pause at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath, giving some grace and honor to that space in between. that space that we tend to rush through. Feeling so nice to just pause. And take a moment to notice your room. Eyes remain closed here. Notice here any buzzing. Feeling the temperature, any breeze from a fan. Noticing any noises that are possibly distracting to you. Notice them for what they are, just distractions. They can wait. It will be there later. Just like the thoughts that will start to roll through your head, doing the best you can when distracted to bring it back to your breath. So go back to the breath here. And then notice your physical self. The back of your head, the low back, recognizing and giving gratitude to the support. Feeling the heaviness of your body, relying on the support. Feeling the weight in your shoulders start to melt as gravity pulls them a little closer, makes them a little heavier. Going all the way down the arm to the fingertips. Feeling any tingling there. Down to the hips. Traveling down the legs to the knees. Those outer ankles touching the mat, your toes. Nice big cleansing breath here. Inhale. Exhale to release it. And when you're ready, take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. Today's practice is going to focus on poses that help us open through our heart space, finding acceptance and grace on our quest for self-love. So perhaps your intention goes along with that. Maybe our intention is to give ourselves much deeper kindness, permission to feel joy and laughter, and permission to have fun, acceptance of where we are today, how we feel, and grace for however that looks like. Those are all ways in which we show ourselves self-love. Take a moment, find that intention, whether it's a word, a feeling, a mantra, prayer. Use your next few inhales to really pull that intention in, pulling it up with the breath on that journey to the chest. Exhale, release it. 2 more. And you can keep your eyes heavy here, maybe start to butterfly them open as we transition to our next pose. We're just going to start to gently sit up using your elbows, your hands. We're going to find a butterfly pose now, a seated butterfly. Go ahead and just kind of shift your seat back slightly. We want a nice diamond shape here in our legs. So it's, again, the toes are closer to the bottom of the mat than to your pelvis. Sometimes it feels nice to sit on a blanket just to elevate the hips a little bit. So do that if you'd like. Otherwise, just like with all of our poses, let's go ahead and take a moment to use our props, setting ourselves up for success by just layering it up and then removing if you don't need it all. You can do this on top of your feet or that space in between. Then when you're ready, take a nice big inhale. Exhale to start to hinge as you fold forward. Let your forehead find that prop, or maybe it's at your chest level. Back can round. Head feels heavy. Take a nice big inhale here through the nose. Exhale, release that breath.
following the breath, settling in here. As you settle, taking a moment in each of the poses to scan. Starting at the crown of your head, letting your head here feel heavy and supported. Or if it's hanging, letting it hang safely. Travel down to your jaw, part your lips, let your mouth feel heavy. Shoulders should feel heavy and relaxed. If they still feel a little tense, maybe drawing those arms behind you and encouraging the release there, whatever version looks best for you. Traveling down your spine, your sit bones, the feet. Taking a nice deep breath in any space in which you feel a little tension. As the mind starts to wander, as it will, take a moment to recognize whatever those thoughts are, whether it's a to-do list, or you are reliving a conversation or a moment that's been hanging on. See it, feel it, and just do your best to sort of send it on its way. And pull that tool out of the toolbox. Go to the breath and vision it from the very base of the spine. Inhale slowly, drawing that breath up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, release. Continuing that if it helps. If at any point you want to feel a deeper version, go ahead and just remove a layer of props or do what feels right for you. Always having a reason to go deeper. Don't do it just to do it. Your body will invite it. You'll get to know what that feels like. And if you feel fine right where you're at, stay there. We'll form our big breaths here. Last one. On your next inhale, slowly bring your head back above your heart, sitting it back up. Exhale, release that breath. Just take a breath lifted. Just set your props to the side or scooch them forward. Just gonna let your hands support you from behind, feet wide. Take 2 windshield wipers on each side, but again, pause in that space in between. Maybe close your eyes down and just feel. And once you're balanced, bring those knees back up. We're just going to move towards a tabletop here. So knees stacked under hips, wrists stacked under shoulders or slightly out in front of them. We're going to take another shoulder stretch here. When we're opening up through that heart space, we need to create room for it. So we're going to take our right fingertips to the mat here, and we're going to inhale, sending that left hand up to the sky. Reach, spread those left fingertips, and really find some space here from the fingertips to fingertips. Inhale. Maybe roll out that wrist a couple of times in both directions. And then when you're ready on an exhale, we're going to send this left arm underneath that right arm, coming to that left shoulder head. This right arm can come long. If you want to deepen it at any point, it can bind behind you. Reminder, we're here for a few minutes. So taking your time, close those eyes down, soften the jaw. Big breath to settle in as you feel a little bit heavier on that left shoulder. As we soften into this pose on this side, and visualize your worries melting off, that heaviness, all the things we carry that prevent us from really tapping in to self. Use your breath. If you want to feel a little deeper stretch, go ahead and bind that right arm behind you. Three more breaths here. And after that next exhale, bringing that right hand towards eye level. Inhale, gently pressing yourself up as that left arm comes to the sky. Right fingertips to the mat once again, reaching. Take an inhale here. Exhale to cactus that elbow. Opening, feel that heart lift here. Big breath right there. Inhale, gently coming out. Left hand back to the mat. Switching sides, left fingertips to the mat. Inhale, right hand reaches tall. Right fingertips are spread. Lots of space here. Opening up. Take a big inhale, maybe rolling out that wrist. And then on an exhale, threading that right arm underneath that left. Finding that right shoulder, setting up. Just like you did on the other side. Right side of the head or temple area to the mat. Or block or blanket if it feels better. This left arm comes out long. Closing the eyes down. Part the lips. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Heavy into the shoulder. Bringing the focus to the sensations you're feeling. Deepening the breath if it starts to get a little loud. Again on this side, as you deepen, as that right shoulder starts to open or talk a little louder as it's stretching, envision the heaviness melting off on this side, the loads that you carry here. The expectations, self-imposed or otherwise. Big inhale. Open your mouth, sigh out that breath, soften a little bit more to that right shoulder. If you deepened on the other side, maybe bring that left arm back to bind. 3 more breaths. And after your next exhale, left hand to eye level. Inhale, gently pressing yourself up. That right hand finds the sky, left fingertips to the mat. Nice big inhales here. Stretch it out. Exhale, cactusing that right elbow. Opening up. Heart lifts. Big breath right there. Inhale, gently come out of that. We're going to make our way towards our belly. Moving around if you feel like you need to move the spine around a little bit, go for it before you make your way all the way down. Have 2 blocks with you or whatever you're using as your blocks. You can even use 2 blankets rolled up nice and tight here if you don't have blocks. So we're going to do our shoulder head release. We're still working in the shoulders. So I've got my 2 blocks and I'm going to put the blocks right at that crease where my armpit starts basically. And then the block comes along to support my arm. Where you start here depends on your shoulder mobility. If you have very tight shoulders, start at the low level, or if you're somewhere in between, maybe that medium level. If you have a lot of shoulder mobility and you want to feel this stretch a little bit more, then start at that highest level. Just recognize you won't have quite as much support in the arms because there's just not as much block there. And when you land, or once you start to settle in here, feel supported by the props. Let that chest start to melt down towards the ground, forehead to the mat. Taking a nice big breath when you land. Inhale. Exhale to soften. Slowing the breath down. Notice if you're holding some tension in the shoulders. I'm just trying to let them soften a little bit more. Check your jaw. Check in here. We're a few poses in, and often that's when the mind starts to get a little more active. It's just not used to the stillness and quiet. So go to those thoughts. What are they? Is it self-talk? If so, call it out for what that is. Really see the words or the thoughts that are running through for what they are. Distractions. Take a big inhale, visualize, see it. Let out that exhale as you send it on its way. You've carved this time out, this precious time. Reclaim it every single time the thoughts come back. Take 3 more breaths here. After your next exhale, just remove those blocks and come all the way down with those arms cactus. Chin to the mat just to neutralize here. Big inhale, let that back body rise. Exhale to release it. Good. And bring your left ear to the mat and draw that right knee up so that it's in line with that left hip. Finding our half frog pose here. Give yourself a big breath to settle in. Quieting it all down. Taking it back to the breath, back to that space in between the in and the out. Pause there. Find your heartbeat. Notice it, feel it. Exhale. Do it again. Soften the jaw and the shoulders. First place is many of us notice tension when we bring attention or focus to our heart. Just a couple more breaths here. After your next exhale, bring your neck back to neutral. We're going to bring that left arm out like a T, so just straighten that left arm. Right hand comes under the right shoulder. Tuck the left toes. I know a lot of cues as we move towards broken wing. It'll make sense once we're there. And then use that right hand to start to roll yourself to the left side body. Let that left temple area find the mat or a blanket. This right foot can prop behind you if that feels okay. Or it can rest kind of on top, or it can even kickstand towards the front. Whatever feels best for you. Close the eyes down, soften the jaw. Nice big inhale. Exhale, release it. Gentle as you open up into that shoulder. Using this pose on each side to represent the pulling, the weakening of whatever you've built around your heart, whatever walls are there, years of it. We're just going to start pulling it apart. It's okay to put up protections, but it's important to recognize when those protections are doing us a disservice, when they're standing in the way of us laughing or finding joy and fun, finding love for ourselves and acceptance. When it gets in the way and it almost holds on to negative self-talk. Just going to stretch it, pull it apart. If you want to deepen this, you can take that right hand, kickstand it behind you. Just a few more breaths here. Breathe through discomfort, come out of pain. One more big breath. Next inhale, very gently and slowly make your way back to your belly. Mindfully coming out of that left shoulder. Cactusing both arms again. Chin to mat. We're just going to switch sides. Start to bring that right ear towards the mat. Left knee bends and draws up to be in line with that right hip. Taking a nice big inhale here. Exhale to release it. Nice and heavy as you're drawn into the mat. Find your breath. Drawing your awareness to that space in between the in and the out. Find your heartbeat. One more time on this side. Really feel it coursing, giving you life. Exhale. Just a few more breaths here. After your next exhale, start to straighten out that right arm. Bring that left hand under the left shoulder, tuck the right toes. Gently start to press yourself to roll over onto that right side body, adjusting. So you need to right temple towards the mat or on a block or blanket. Left foot kickstands behind you or wherever you need to put it to help it soften and release. Once you're settled, closing the eyes, part the lips. Take a nice big settling breath. Bringing your awareness to those sensations in the right shoulder. Feeling that stretching, and again, visualize that stretching and pulling. Whatever armors are on the heart that's prohibiting the joy and love that you so deserve. If you're wanting to deepen that stretch, letting that left hand come behind you. Just a couple more breaths here. After your next exhale, gently make your way back to your belly, being mindful of that right shoulder as you release. Cactus the arms, chin to the mat. So I'm going to take 2 or 3 neutralizing breaths here. Inhale, feel that back body puff up. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Then when you feel ready, just tuck the toes, hands under shoulders. You start to press yourself up towards the table. I'm going to take a wide-legged child's pose / modified melting heart. So we're going to do both. Let's widen our knees. Draw the big toes back towards each other. Then shift back about halfway. Bring those hands shoulders distance and let those hands start to lead the way forward as you soften through the heart as the heart finds the mat. Or maybe stick a blanket under the chest if that would help bring a little bit more support there. You can shift your hips back towards the heels wherever it feels best for you. Chin to the mat if that feels okay. Taking a nice big inhale. Exhale, soften through the heart. If this is more comfortable for you to come to either side of your face, go ahead and do that, and I will let you know when to switch sides. Nice deep breaths. If you're on a side of your face, go ahead and switch sides. Bring your awareness back to your intention. How does that make you feel? Whatever comes up, let it. Use your breath. See your intention. Ask yourself why that's your intention. Take a cleansing breath. And if you're in an ear, go ahead and bring your head back to neutral. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. Go ahead and bring your hands under your shoulders. Gently inhale to sit yourself up. You'll be sitting back on the heels. And once you're lifted on an exhale, round through your shoulder blades, drop your chin, hands on the mat, push through the shoulder blades. Big breaths. 2 more. Just gently release that, coming back towards table. Maybe tuck those toes or roll out the ankles if that would feel okay. Grab a drink of water if you'd like. We're going to set up for our swan pose next, which is our pigeon pose in our vinyasa practice. So have some props handy, a couple of blocks, 2 blankets if you have them. And then once you have your props, go ahead and come back to tabletop. And then start to draw that left knee towards the left wrist, that left foot towards the right wrist, but not all of the way. Tuck the back toes, lift that knee, and see if we can just find a little bit more space there. Untuck. Grabbing a blanket, placing it underneath that right side, or left side, I'm sorry. A little extra support there. We're in pigeon for 4 minutes, so give yourself lots of props to start. Then we're going to make a heart hammock. Grab your blocks or bolsters, whatever you have. The blocks, bring one right up against the outside of that left shin, the other to support your upper body, maybe on that medium height. The other's on the lowest. Taking your blanket or bolster and setting it on top. Once that's ready, hands to the mat, inhale. Exhale, start to lower just until you feel, just to that point where you feel like you want to stop for a bit and breathe. If that's all the way down to the support, that's absolutely okay. Whenever you land, give yourself a nice big breath to settle in. Shoulders are soft. Arms can be long or tucked in, whatever helps them soften. You can find your right ear if that feels okay, or you can stay neutral. The neck. The eyes are drawn shut. Jaw is soft. We've created a lot of space around the heart, which causes lots of other areas to tense up as we work through that. And we hold a lot of that right in the hips, the emotion. So as that starts to open up and release here, whatever comes up, let it. Do your best to see it and then to release it. Or if there's something that's lingering, something that you're beating yourself up about, see it. Just wrap your arms around yourself. Just feel that embrace of love. And talk to yourself like you talk to a best friend or sister or daughter. Deepen the breath. Removing any props you feel. We're about halfway through. Scanning for tension. As you release and soften, it goes somewhere until we call it out. So starting with the jaw and the shoulders, traveling all the way down to that extended leg. 3 more big breaths here. After that next exhale, just bring the hands under shoulders. Inhale gently and slowly lift. Once lifted on the exhale, drop that chin towards your chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, neutralize the neck. Let out the exhale. And just remove anything that you have under that left side. We're going to start to draw our weight to that left sit bone area as we bring that right knee up to meet that left foot. So my right knee is bent and my right shin is parallel with the long edge of the mat there. So deer pose. We're going to move into a revolved stomach twist. So grab your props again, blankets, bolsters, blocks. Just bring them over to that left side. Maybe touching that outer left thigh and something to support the upper body, blanket on top. Then take an inhale when you're ready, nice long spine. Exhale to twist to the left, that right side lifts. Take a few breaths in this twist before you lower down onto the props, but go when you feel ready. Just be gentle on the spine. Give it a little bit of time to know where you're going or just to recognize where you're at. And then as you're ready, lowering down. Right ear can find the mat if you want to, or the blanket if you want to deepen the stretch. If you want it more restorative, bring the left to the block or to the prop. Check your shoulders once you land. Wiggling them out as you need to. Soften the jaw, close the eyes. Settling breath. Twisting poses are very renewing, cleansing. So on the side, on an inhale, I just want you to think of something about yourself that you love. See it. Then use your inhales to really draw whatever that is in. Feeling it wrap around the spine as you carry it on that journey all the way up to the heart. Exhale, let that breath go. Continue that. Anything negative that surfaces here, send it on out with the exhale. Then use your breath on the inhale. Repeat, I am. And on that exhale, whatever that word or whatever you thought of, something that you love about yourself, use that. I am. Exhale, whatever that is. 3 more breaths. When you're ready, after that next exhale, hands to the ground, gently inhale to lift, staying in the twist. Exhale, counter stretching the neck gently. Whatever you need here, softening there. Being sure to balance out any movements. And then when you're ready, just inhale to unwind the spine. Take a breath once you're there. And you're just going to bring yourself back to table. Scooch back towards the middle of the mat. Then when you're ready, start to draw that right knee up towards that right wrist, right wrist towards, right foot towards that left wrist. Tuck those back toes, lift the knees, give it a little bit more space. Set that foot down. Placing a blanket or block underneath that right side, at least to start. Again, 4 minutes. That's how long we are in pigeon or swan, then create that heart hammock. A block up against that right shin. Another one to support that upper body. Blanket on top to soften it. Once you are set up, hands to the mat. Big inhale. You can stay here for a few breaths or as many as you'd like, or you can start to fold down to whatever point feels good. If you want to rest with your forearms down before you come all the way to the props, that's okay. If you are on an ear on the last side, go ahead and bring the left ear to the mat this time. Once you get settled, softening through the shoulders, closing the eyes down, take a nice big inhale. Exhale, soften. As that right hip starts to open, recognize and let yourself be with whatever might arise, if anything at all. Also notice if your heart starts to beat a little faster, the breath becomes shorter, and slow it down, slow down that breath. Recognizing if tension starts to creep in as you release in that hip, starting at the crown of the head, slowly traveling all the way to that extended leg. Removing any props as you'd like. 3 more breaths. After your next exhale, plant the hands. Use that inhale to slowly lift. Once you're lifted, on an exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, neutral neck. Let out that exhale. And then remove whatever you have underneath that right side, if anything. Weight comes to that right sit bone. Left leg starts to come up towards deer pose. And setting up for our revolved stomach twist on this other side. So placing a block at that outer right thigh, another for that upper body, or bolsters, whatever you have. Once you're set up, we're going to take a nice big inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to twist to that right side. Staying lifted here for a few breaths, just to let that spine start to open. When you're ready, folding down. Left ear to that support if you want to deepen the twist. Right ear to keep it more restorative. Once you've settled, open those shoulders. Relax the face, close the eyes, and take a big settling breath. As you start to settle in here and feel soft, once again, let's focus on the cleansing nature and the balancing out of this pose. And let's start to picture a list. 5 items on that list. I want you to visualize 5 things that you do for yourself that make you feel you, that make you feel inspired, capable, loved. Let's take some time and really try to think about that, while also trying to stay soft. If you can't fill that list, that's not surprising. Maybe in any empty spaces on the list, you put down things that you want to be able to do for you. If only there were time, or if only you had a space, right? That's what we do. Deepen your breath here and go back to your intention. Take a mental picture of that list. Just know that the more priority that you give to that list, the more you'll be living your intention, the more you'll be living What you love for you matters. Take 3 more breaths here. On your next inhale, plant the hands, gently lift, counter stretching the neck, balancing any of those movements out. Then when you're ready, inhale, come out of the twist, taking a breath here. And then you gently make your way back towards tabletop. Just going to take a few cat-cows here, maybe a child's pose, a down dog, and take a couple of minutes before we move to our backs. So go ahead and just close your eyes down here. And on an inhale, drop your belly, lift the tail and the gaze, push the mat away. Exhale, tuck your chin, your tail round through the shoulder blades. Use your breath nice and slowly and gently move through these motions. Holding any that feel good or that you feel you need a little extra time there. Adding in any side bends or maybe a child's pose if you'd like that. I'll let you know when we are just about to transition to make sure that we're balanced, or if you did want to take a few breaths in down dog. Just trying to keep any of these movements nice and slow, unrushed, and gentle. Balance out any of the movements. And if you would like to take a down dog once those movements are balanced, coming to a neutral spine, tuck the toes, and just very gently pressing those hips high. Maybe you keep a bend to your knees to help keep it gentle. Nice big breaths here. Maybe open the mouth, sigh it out. Big inhale. Sigh it out. One more. Go ahead. Knees back to the mat. We're just going to let our legs come out to the side as we find our seat. Before we make our way to our backs, grab a drink of water. And then grab a blanket. We're going to take a supported fish pose. So before we come down to our back, we're going to set up the support. So I have a blanket that's folded in thirds and then folded in half. So it is, just longer than my mat and about 2 inches thick. I'm going to roll this up the long way, as tight as I can. And I'm going to place it about a third of the way down the mat, fixing any rolls that come out. Good. I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together. You can keep your legs long here if you'd like, or they can be open. And just slowly start to make your way down so that this blanket falls right around that bra strap. So the chest should feel nice and open here. Let the arms cactus once you land. Maybe move around in the hips a little bit just to help encourage the softening there. So this blanket's up my bra strap. Another way to kind of feel it is the very bottom part of your shoulder blades, so that pointy part is hitting just the very top part of the blanket. Give yourself a nice big inhale here. Close the eyes down, part the lips. Exhale, let it go. Deepen the breath. Feeling some heaviness in the shoulders, almost like I'm there, just gently pressing down. Heart is open and lifted, feeling safe and supported. Shoulders feel light. Hips feel settled. Slow the breath. Just see if you can feel the heart beating. Maybe not even in the obvious place at the heart center, but maybe go to your fingertips. What do they feel like right now? Maybe go to your belly. Maybe even the tops of the feet. We are made to feel good in our bodies, in our minds, in our soul. When life gets loud, it's a little bit more difficult, not at times impossible, to feel that. So more than ever in this final pose before Shavasana, I really want you to continue to scan and feel the heart beating in each portion of your body. Have just a slight smile or curl to the lips. Pausing at the top of the breath and the bottom. Just being nice and quiet and still. Two more big breaths here. And after that next exhale, just going to bring those knees gently up. Or bending if the legs were long, feet to the mat. On an inhale, lifting up the hips like you're coming into a bridge pose, gently pull up that blanket. And then very gently coming down from the top to the bottom. Taking a moment here in neutral. And then just take a moment to bring it all in. Knees to chest, that low back can round, arms around the legs. Squeezing all that in, embracing. Maybe drawing your chin up to your knees if that feels okay for you. And then when you're ready, setting up for Shavasana, you can take traditional corpse pose by letting those legs come long. Or if you want legs up the wall, modified legs up the wall, use your props however you like. Take a moment, set it up. And once you land, wiggle around as you need to. Give the shoulders a slight tuck. Arms can come long. Close the eyes down. Take a nice big inhale through your nose. Exhale, release. Just let your breath go back to its natural rhythm. No more thought, no more effort. Scanning and noticing any tension here. Sending some love or breath right to that spot. Just letting yourself rest and absorb in Shavasana. Start to deepen the breath. Bringing awareness back by gently moving your fingers and toes. Maybe gently nodding your head from side to side if that's okay on your neck. And when you're ready, bring those arms up overhead. Take a nice big inhale at that low back lift. Exhale, release. Bend your knees, feet to the mat, and roll over to either side, taking a moment in our fetal pose. Let your head rest on whatever arm finds the mat. Close those eyes back down. Reconnect with the breath. Reconnect with your intention. And then when you're ready, just slowly start to sit yourself back up. Take your time. And once you're lifted, let's draw our hands to heart. Tuck the chin. Bow with gratitude. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, release. Take a moment to grab onto this feeling that you're feeling right now, this calm, this light, taking it with you off of your mat into the moments ahead, going back to it every time that you need it, letting it serve as a reminder that you are here, that is always enough. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and letting me share mine with you. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you.